All right, Islam, everyone. We are going to get this class started. And if everyone can take their seats, we'll get started. All righty. Hopefully I got enough charge to do this. Oh, I'm going to have to. Islam, everyone. All right. We start each class by reading chapter 25 of the Holy Quran, divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Ali. If you are in agreement with it, affirm by saying Islam after I finish reading. All right. Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother has given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers and sisters, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy Father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him out. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole nation, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam. Now, I hope that Roz will text me and let me know that she can hear me. How many people listened to the broadcast last night? Wait a minute. Oh, raise your hands again. Oh, quite a few. How many people knew about the probate, what probate meant prior to last night's broadcast? Cool. How many knew what that word meant? Probate. How many thought they knew what the word meant? How about the probate court? How many people knew what that meant prior to last night's broadcast? Nobody? Anybody thought they knew what it meant? Last night's broadcast, if you didn't tune in, we covered it because, interestingly enough, my dad's wife passed away, so I'm a lot of what I have always known because of my studies is being affirmed. And it's amazing to me to be able to sit back and watch these things unfold. A lot of times we're, if we get in the study mind and the study mentality, the universe will just open a floodgate of information onto you. But what I have found, that will not happen unless you show through your actions that you are absolutely serious and ready to receive it. And that's where that saying in the Bible comes from that says God will not be mocked. You know who God is? God is you. So you can never fake yourself. That's what that parable is saying. You can think that you're fooling people, but you're really not. Because the only people that you can really play with mentally is yourself. All right, so that means that, for example, there's people that come to this class and people I talk to on the phone, they say all the time, like, I'm studying all the time. And then you ask them a simple question like, where are you going? I'm driving down the street. You're not studying. So that is an example of God will not be mocked. You can't fool you. You might think you're fooling people, but really it's all about you. This journey is all about you. And a lot of times we've been, correct me if I'm wrong, we've been mentally conditioned to always be looking outside of ourselves, right? We're looking at what Tom, Dick, and Harry, Sally, Jane, and Sue is doing, and we don't never turn our eyes on ourselves, right? And this is all about man, know thyself. So you have to turn your eyes back on yourself. And a lot of times when you do that, you're not going to like what you see. But don't beat yourself up about it. Everybody who's been studying, who's been on the path, at some point, you've gone through it. You're going to go through it again. Don't even trip about it. Just recognize it when it presents itself and keep on moving forward. So as I was saying, you know, once you start studying and the universe recognizes that you are serious, it will open a floodgate of information on you, and that's what happened and has been happening to me. And so I've been talking a lot. I've been studying a lot. How many people have heard about trust? Trust. Everybody wants to know about trust. I want to start a trust. I want a 98 series EIN number. I want to start a trust. And nobody's done any research on it. Nobody's done any studying. What laws do these trusts operate under? Because remember, if you're a Moor, the only law that pertains to you is the American Constitution and Great Seal government. Right? But most of these things that people are coming and talking to you about as it relates to trust, they fall under the United States of America government policies and procedures. Definitely not where we are supposed to be resting our head. But anyways, I've been studying a lot about trust, and I've had some things that I want to put into effect, turning over in my mind. What I've been turning over in my mind based on my study, based on what I know, has nothing to do with this modern crap that's under the United States of America government policies and procedures that is presuming to be talking about trust. Because as I learned with my dad and sitting down with him as the modern Europeans, because, you know, under the United States of America government, a trust is not valid unless you go through one of their attorneys and he completes it. Did you know that? Now, you're not going to be effectuating any trust using the United States of America government policies and procedures, and it was not put together by one of their agents that go by the name of attorney, or I should say job title, attorney. Not going to happen. So, what I've been studying is ancient, and there's no need to rewrite it because it's already written. You can begin to understand what our ancestors put together to protect us, and guess what? It's all embodied in the American Constitution, 1791. Yet you got Moors who will say, "Oh, that was suspended." Well, if that was suspended, then your ancient trust, your ancient vast estate, the universe, because the Constitution was written based on universal law, all of that is suspended, and we really shouldn't be standing here right now, right? Because then that would mean that the universe no longer exists. It's huge. Our ancestors thought huge, far, all-encompassing. We have yet to scratch the surface of what they put together for us, and it's so vast, but yet it's really not, because it's like math. If you understand the formula, the variables are irrelevant, but you have to take time to understand the formula, because you can plug in any variables, because the end result has already been written if you read the prophecies and the statements. How many people read the prophecies and the statements? I can't talk about it enough. If you have not gotten the prophecies and the statements by Prophet Noble Jew Ali, I should highly suggest you get them, because they tell you already what the end game is. Everything that is happening right now is already documented in the prophecies and the statements of Prophet Noble Joel. Already there, right? Didn't he say we was all going to be forced to make change? Right? Didn't he say if we don't make the change, if we don't make the necessary changes ourselves, because see, nobody can change you but you, that our blood would run up to your knees? Didn't he say that? Isn't it already running up to our knees? We got Gardner, who was murdered in New York by foreigners. We got Michael Brown, was it? In Ferguson that was murdered by foreigners. We got the brother in the Walmart that was murdered by foreigners. We get the sister traveling on her ancestral estate that was murdered by foreigners. And that's not counting the whole host of other people who are being murdered right now at this very moment. I would think that the blood is up to our knees, probably beyond our knees, right? Because now they've thrown in not just kidnapping and murdering the people of this Aboriginal indigenous people of this land, they're going after the babies. Almost everybody knows of an infant, toddler that has been kidnapped from their mother. Am I right? You've heard of some infant or toddler that has been kidnapped from its mother and given over to someone else, and that someone else is getting paid, right, to raise the child that was kidnapped from the mother. That's an absolute international violation. Did you know that? In the rights of indigenous people, it says that you cannot do that. In the United Nations Convention on Genocide, it says that genocide is defined as a group of people who are moved from one location to another for profit and to break up the family. They say it's a group, but it's a family. And it's also defined as when they remove the children from the homes of from their mother. That's genocide. How many people know that in 2012, the United Nations had a whole convention on the rights of indigenous, that whole year was dedicated to the doctrine of discovery? 2012 was the year when the United Nations made a big splash as it relates to the doctrine of discovery. Do you know what the doctrine of discovery is about? And because of that document and because of the work of the United Nations, Canada as well as Australia apologized to the Aboriginal indigenous people that look just like me and you for the generation they call the lost generation. Did you know this? Why haven't they apologized to the Aboriginal indigenous people here? Could it be because we still don't know how to unite under one common cause, which is bring the family back together? How many people have family members that look just like the Aboriginal indigenous people of Australia? It would seem that we must be related, right? How many of us have family that look just like the Aboriginal indigenous people of what they call Canada? Interestingly enough, Canada is a part of the Americas, yet they call it international. They're showing you that international is not distant, because Canada is international. How many people know how Canada even became? Canada, well, you know that the original 13 colonies are all companies, right? You know Canada is a company as well, right? Canada, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, it was either established under, it was called Scotia. I apologize. I don't have that document in my head because I was researching it more. But I was Googling something. You know, when you get on the internet and you start Googling, you find stuff, especially if you're looking for old books. These new books, they're not even worth purchasing because they're all fabricated lies. Everything is fabricated. That was the whole that is what the Reconstruction of 1865 was all about, reconstructing history. So, yeah. I'm sorry? Yeah, they are. They're always rewriting. Say that again? No. Oh, no. Well, that's a straight up fabrication because how many people have read the Declaration of Independence? How many? You got to go read the Declaration of Independence because in the Declaration of Independence, how many people have been mentally conditioned to believe that they are the people that came over here on boats? How many of us here have been mentally conditioned? Right? Those Aboriginal indigenous people here have been mentally conditioned to believe that they came over on boats. But if you read the Declaration of Independence, it tells you who the real people are who came over here on boats. And it wasn't us. And if you read that history, I remember when I was in middle school, they said that those people that came over, they were indentured servants. And those indentured servants were not us, right? The people that came over as indentured servants were thieves, murderers, rapists, and these are the people, and debtors. Because the brutish Moors had set up a system where they could never, ever be free, never, ever own anything. They were always outside of the family. I'm not speaking from Anna Eve, all right? This is history. You just got to know who is who and what is what because they've whitewashed everything. But it's right in the Declaration of Independence. It tells you. Right? Now, the mental conditioning that the Aboriginal indigenous people have been suffering under, they said, where did we come from? Where did they say we come from? Africa, right? But the people that came over from the indentured servants came over from where? Great Britain. They never said we came over from Great Britain, did they? Never. We never came over from Africa because this is Africa right here. This is Northwest Africa. But they're also constantly changing the geographical boundaries of the land. And this is why we have to do some research independently. How many people heard of the Berlin Conference? Just 3? 4? 5? 6? You must go and research and study the Berlin Conference because the landmass today referred to as Africa didn't have a name. All of these so-called African names that was given to the landmass that is today referred to as Africa didn't have those names prior to the Berlin Conference. In the Berlin Conference, they literally wiped out a lot of the population of the Aboriginal indigenous people, similar to what they did here, right? Right? And then they renamed the land based on the largest family, they call it tribe, but it's family name. Or the most popular language of a certain location. Islam? The Doctrine of Discovery was written it was actually written in 1493 by the first modern European to be named Pope. Pope Alexander VI, I believe. It's right in the history. They call him a bastard because he was born of a modern European woman, and all of his children were bastards, and that's why many of the nobles of Italy refused to match their firstborn children or their firstborn child with his modern European mistress offspring. It's right there in the history. How many people know the history of Henry VIII? I mean, the prophet said that we have an illustrious history. We do. We have an illustrious history. All of it is not pretty, but it is very, very impressive. The reason that Henry was able to chop off Anne Boleyn's head was because she was a modern European. You know what a modern European is, right? She was a modern European. However, his previous wife, Catherine of Aragon, she was not a modern European. She was a noble Moor, and that's why he could never do to her what he did to Anne. Never. She was very, very well connected in a noble family. And you got to know language, because back in the day they didn't. They called them commoners. And she said herself, I don't know why you're interested in me. I am a commoner. That's code for modern Europeans. So when she had Elizabeth, the people will tell you that Elizabeth never married because she wanted to be the sole heir or so-called heir. She wanted to reign as just the queen, nobody else. But the truth of the matter is, Elizabeth was single because no noble family would marry their prince son to a bastard. And today they got us thinking that a bastard means that you were married out of so-called wedlock. Bastard means that you're not eligible to inherit. And that's why when Henry brought Anne Boleyn to the French court, the French king didn't even acknowledge her as the so-called Queen of England. And when they tried to match up his firstborn prince son with Elizabeth, he said, no, you can't have him, but you can have my third son. That was an insult. Right in the history. But you got to know who is who and what is what. What does all of that have to do with probate court? What does all of that have to do with the Doctrine of Discovery? What does all of this have to do with nationality? Because as a Moor, actually, not just a Moor, today it is all about nationality. Have you noticed that? If you don't have a nationality, you have absolutely zero protection. So if you're running around calling yourself Negro-colored black, African-American, what you've just done is you've traded places with the foreigners. Because in the congressional records, they talk about the Negro-colored black, and it is not us. But then you got to know who's talking, right? If we are supposed to be the Negro-colored black, right? How come we're addressing in the congressional record the Negro-colored black? You have to look at the language. You have to look at how the words are being written, how they're being put together. And let me tell you, back in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, we spoke with such intelligence. How many people have ever read the speech? I think it was by Frederick Douglass. You read it? a while ago, he wrote such an eloquent speech that those modern Europeans didn't even realize that he was telling them off in the speech. They had him to come and speak on religion. Religion now. This is a war. They're asking him to come and talk about religion, meaning the so-called Christian crusade religion. And he wrote this speech basically where he was like, it translated, it went right over their head. But what, in a sense, what he was saying to them is, I don't know why you people got me coming here talking about religion. Who are you? And what is this mess? I mean, but you got to read it, because the way we spoke and wrote, we need to really go back and look at that so that we can write like we used to write. Less is more, pun intended. Less is more. What I have noticed about our people is we are in the process of playing catch-up in a lot of areas, and I can't speak about it enough. I speak about it every single time, every chance I can get, I speak about it. I will beat you up and I will talk about it, because everybody here, by now, you should have done a little bit of research about where you are. How many people have done that? How many people know what New York City is? Or how many people know what New York is? What? Corporation. Are they hiding it? Where can you find it? Where can you find this information? They ain't even hiding it, because they know we don't study. It's called the World Wide Web. Right on the World Wide Web, they tell you. It's right up there. You don't believe me? I got the charter for New York from 1784. The original charter for New York City came from Charles II, I believe. Charles II of Great Britain. You know what that means, right? It's a foreign corporation. Exactly. Exactly. Now let's just use New York. You got New York City, a foreign corporation, right? Compelling the people of the land through fictitious borders that they must give them income or they're going to take their stuff. Huh? Well, nobody has money. Well, see, the reason I'm calling it income, and I'm glad you said that. What is income? Nope. What is income? How many people in here work? Now, when you work, you create sweat, energy, current, right? Is that income? What's that? What? What did you say? Pecuniary compensation. Compensation for your energy. It's a mutual exchange. So you're giving up your currency, which is your energy, and you're not even getting currency back. That's what the gold and the silver was about. Because gold and silver carries a currency or a current. What most people have in their pocket today has zero current, because the weight and the measure is off. And if the weight and the measures is off, that means you don't have the proper silver weight, which means you're not getting the proper current. You don't have the correct copper weight, because you're not using copper. So you're not getting the proper current there. And you have a Federal Reserve note? Do you? Anybody got a Federal Reserve note? Anybody got a silver dollar? I said a Federal Reserve note. Y'all giving me 5 notes, monopoly money. Five. Did y'all see that? Let me see that. How many people play Monopoly? Doesn't this look like Monopoly? All of it looks like Monopoly. Look at it. It's purple. 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 This is Monopoly money. How many people still got Monopoly at home? Look at the 5 and the 20 and the 10, and you will be looking at freaking Monopoly money. You gave me that. Who got so? Anybody got $2? I used to carry one with me, but I think I weeded it out. Well, you got to go back, and it's not gold. Either silver or gold. Well, no, you had silver dollars and you had gold dollars. What is this? What is this? What is this? Well, it's really not a promissory note. You know why? Because this contract has been voided. Why has it been voided? Well, that's true, but what you're looking at, see, this is called reasonable analysis. Why is this no longer valid? Yeah, the corporation is bankrupt, but why is this piece of paper no longer valid? Wait, what? Nope. No, look at the paper. The paper. If you got $1, I want to say $1. If you got a Federal Reserve note, look at it. Why is this not valid? You're right, it's no longer legal, but why? No, look, we're talking about the paper only. No. It's the language. The language. When you go ahead, that's correct. Well, it's not, but it's not legal tender, but why is it no longer valid? Why is it no longer a legal tender? It's the language. It's supposed to be a promissory note, but it is no longer a promissory note because the promise is no longer on here. What was the promise? What? What did you say? That's right. The last line of this, it's supposed to say, go back prior to 1965, it's supposed to say redeemable in gold or silver. So this is no longer a promissory note. It's a dead promise. You, back prior to 1965, you could take this and get this. This is a silver dollar. This is a dollar. This is not a dollar. This is a one Federal Reserve note. It says it on there. It's an absolute contradiction because it says Federal Reserve note on top, which is correct because it's a note. But then on the bottom it says $1, which is incorrect because a dollar is this. Everybody in here, nobody has been, ever since 1933, when they sent out this request or demand, it was a demand for all silver and gold. But that demand was to the corporations, but they didn't make the distinction because they'd already mentally conditioned enough of the people, and everybody well, I should say the people gave up all of this for this. That was in 1933. Guess what? You walk down this street now, and you will see a so-called jeweler saying, if you give us this, we'll give you this. Yes, cash for gold. This is money. This, according to the Federal Reserve Corporation, is worthless pieces of paper. Why is it worthless pieces of paper? Because the promise is no longer on it. Gone. You used to be able to take this and get this. If you take this to the bank or Federal Reserve window, you're going to get a new one of these. And this is why the people are broke. Because this is money. This has the proper weight. You can feel it in your hand. This is conducting the proper currency. And if you go back into our history, you will find that we didn't carry this around to exchange. We carry this around for the same reason I wear copper, because it's an energy conductor. Modern Europeans came over here and was amazed that we were wearing silver and gold and emeralds and rubies just so that we can attract the energy. And by the way, it was Mother who was wearing all of that silver, gold, rubies, and emeralds. And they were on her seamless. Couldn't take it off like this because it was soldered onto her. We call it soldered, but it was artfully done. What they did was they would cut off her head, her hands, and her feet to get the gold, the silver, the emeralds, and the rubies, and any other precious gems that she had on, and then they threw her over the Niagara Falls, which were at that time was called Nigger Falls. But we were not the niggers. And to this day, if you go to the bottom of Niagara Falls, you will see the bones of millions of Moabite mothers who were slaughtered just so that they can get the silver, the gold, and the gems that we wore to attract energy. Whose dollar? Whose Federal Reserve note? And who? I know you don't want that. Whose is this? Over here? Over there? Now, do we need to go and hunt down Federal Reserve notes? No. It's a sad, sad thing when a foreign immigrant comes over here and says to Congress, this is the home of the brave, land of the free. Where are the braves? You know who the braves are? Who? The Native Americans, the sons. Where are the braves? The land is no longer free. Everybody is enslaved. The foreign, the modern Europeans, some of the modern Europeans, and the Aboriginal indigenous people were both enslaved because the braves are not doing their job. Home of the brave. You know where that comes from? How many people have heard the Marine song? Moorin song. The Moorin song. They altered it like they did many of the names, and they call it Marine. They kept our song. How many people know the Marine song? Anybody? What's the Marine song? How many people read chapter 47 of the Holy Quran? That's chapter 47 of the Holy Quran. The braves are you sons. The foreign immigrant that came over here looking for the braves that's supposed to make sure the land is free was the Pope. Did you see him? It don't make no sense. This is the land of the home of the brave, land of the free. You got people sleeping on the street. The hell is going on over here? Don't make no sense. Foreign immigrants, the Pope came over here, said that. And we missed it. We missed it. I know a lot of you sons missed it too, huh? I missed it. I'm not afraid to admit it. I didn't listen to anything the Pope had to say. Sister had called me up and said, girl, you got to listen to what the Pope is saying. And I went on the internet and downloaded the speech, and I was absolutely amazed at what he was saying. It was like the prophet was channeling through Pope Francis, talking about, wake up, you sleepy-headed Moors. How many of us is going to wake up? How many of us are going to take our place amongst the affairs of men? How many of us is going to help uplift fallen humanity? You know who fallen humanity is, right? Who said it? Her. If you don't uplift and wake up her, the next generation is going to come out just as asleep as she is. Uplifting fallen humanity is all about waking mother up. All about waking mother up. But I have to tell you something. A lot of you sons, you're reluctant to wake up mother because you have information in your DNA that makes you hesitant to wake mother up. I know, because some of y'all is tripping behind these women now who's out of her mind, right? You wondering what she gonna do when I wake her up. But here's the thing. She got to wake up. It's already prophesied that she's going to wake up. So whatever's going to happen, just going to have to happen. Some sisters is going to have to fight other sisters because some sisters is just going to be out of order and refuse to wake up. We got to this place because we had some mothers who decided to create a deity of herself and then have other people bow down to her and all manner of things. And this is why we are paying today. So now as other mothers wake up out of that and humble themselves and help all of her children wake up, of course there's going to be some scuffling along the way because there's probably going to be some sisters that don't want to give up that kind of control. But it's going to happen. It is inevitable. Just like in the Matrix, you know, when the Smith said it's inevitable, he was absolutely correct. A lot of things that's getting ready to go into play, go into action, a lot of things that have already happened, inevitable. The tsunami, inevitable. The sinkholes. How many people saw sinkholes in South Carolina? Whoa, scary, huh? I'm so glad I'm not south of New York. Because the prophet already told you that the South was going to be the first to get hit. Right? Do you know that? Did you read that? In the prophecies and the statements. He said, get everybody you know out of the South because it's going to be the first to go. Right? Interestingly enough, at this meeting that I had with my brother and father, they were talking about all this land they brought in Florida. And not too long ago, it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everybody was calling, you want to sell, you want to sell, you want to sell. Nobody's calling them. Nobody's calling them. and they can't sell it for nothing. I said, well, isn't that interesting? Guess why they can't sell it? Because they did a geological study and report a couple years ago. You might have heard about it. They said that the Canary Islands are going to fall into the ocean and create a tsunami that is going to take out much of the southern, thank you so much, the southern portion of North America. You ever saw that report? Oh, Discovery Channel had it on. I know, I saw it. Discovery Channel had it on. The Learning Channel had it on. They used to have this program that used to come on 5, 6 o'clock in the morning called Something in the Classroom. It was on A&E. They had it on. It's interesting that these informative programs come on in the wee hours of the morning when most of us is asleep. Just come home from partying a lot of times. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Exactly. And you know why that's happening? You always hear them talking about the greenhouse effect, right? Do you know what it is? Global warming. You know what that is? You know why that is? Because what? Do you know why that is? No. Nope. Huh? Say that again? Well, that is part of it, but that's not it. Nope. You give up? The sun is moving closer to the earth. I'm sorry, you said it? I'm sorry. You got to speak up. Because, let's see, what moves? The sun rotates. That's true. You know why it wobbles? Oh, no, but I'm not going to. Yeah, it wobbles. The sun, right. The sun is moving closer to the earth. Have you noticed that the summers are hotter? Hot. For a couple years, it's like if your arm is in the sun, you can feel it. The sun is moving closer to the earth. And this land, as it used to be, the whole planet Earth used to be a subtropical planet. That was before the wobble. Used to be a subtropical planet. And it is going back to that. And for that to happen, the sun has to be closer so that the whole planet can have the year-round warm temperatures. And this is why the ice cap of the Arctic, North America, the North Pole is melting. That's why the poles are shifting. You're correct. They have been. And it's interesting because I was doing a lot of research and reading a lot of ancient documents, and what I suspected was that the poles had shifted at least 2, possibly 3 times many, many, many years back. many, many years back. This was just my hypothesis, but I was watching A&E in the Classroom. That's what it's called. And they had a program, and it's amazing. I woke up at like 4 in the morning, just as it was starting, and they had a report, a geological report that said exactly what I had speculated. They said that the poles had shifted twice, and that it was, if things continued along the same path, it would shift again. And it just so happens that I was on the internet a couple years ago, and I found this article, and it was talking about the airport in Florida and how they had to suspend all incoming and outgoing flights because the poles had shifted so much that those lines that they put on the runway, the planes couldn't land and take off because it had shifted so much, and they had to reline the runway. I have the article on my computer still, and I was amazed at that piece of information. Is that? Mm-hmm. Yes. And also, if you watch the History Channel, how many people realize that the History Channel is a bunch of crap now? What happened to the History Channel? I mean, the History Channel is, there's like some porn show, a porn shop, the greatest pawn shops, and a bunch of crap now. But I remember watching a geological report where they were analyzing many of the pyramids. And they did soil samples, and they found that a lot of the pyramids, they're now on dry land, desert land, but the pyramids show water damage going way up on the pyramids, which says that there had to have been significant moisture, water, vegetation. Now, I know, this is my theory, a lot of these modern Europeans, they have absolutely no clue how to work in harmony with the earth. And they put blockages of water all over the place. How many people know that the Nile and the Mississippi is the same water? They flood at the same time every year. And people are like, I don't understand why Mississippi floods every year. Well, it seems to me that if you know it's going to flood every year, you should do something to isolate or insulate yourself. Or, hey, better yet, why don't you study why it does that and how it was advantageous? Because the water flooding, it actually, what it ended up doing was it ended up reseeding the land, giving it the proper fertilization, and so that's how you had green vegetation, fruits and things, right? But now, because they don't know why it's flooding, they build a dam. Now we have no more flooding, and guess what? No more vegetation. And drought, and now we have desert where there didn't used to be desert. Yes.
I read a book where it saying, well, when we had control of that, was using what we were saying earlier, used like polar shift. Earth axis changed, so it changed the climate.
Yes.
So what it used to be like savannah or even further apart, like guns, we all dropped.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely correct.
They have cave joints of giraffe, elephants.
Absolutely, yep. How many people know that in the Grand Canyon there are tombs?
Yeah.
Try to go down there and see if you don't lose your life. They will shoot on sight, ask questions later. Because they don't want nobody knowing that this right here, where you're standing, this is Northwest Amexem, this is Northwest Africa, this right here is the heart of planet Earth. They want you, same History Channel, the History Channel, they have these programs about where is the Garden of Eden, right? Have you seen it? I remember seeing, where is the Garden of Eden? It must be over in Africa, in Zimbabwe somewhere. Now, all of the melanated people want to go back over to Africa where the Garden of Eden is, when in reality, the Garden of Eden is right here. You know any place on planet Earth where all the people are killing themselves to get to? Then here? No, honey, it ain't for political reasons. You go back in the, no, it ain't even for that. This is the heart. This is where everything happens. This is where it all began. But yet they'll go, look, I remember that, how many people been in North Carolina? How many people been to the mountains in North Carolina? I've been to the mountains in North Carolina, and interesting, they will tell you, because these Mountain Europeans, they put together this really elaborate hypothesis of who the people were, what they looked like, how they lived, and such, right? But at the beginning of their whole dissertation, they will tell you, we don't know what the people looked like. When we got here, the only thing here was the mountains. There were no people. We don't know what they look like. We don't know what their language is. But they recreated some people who remarkably look like modern Europeans with fur instead of hair. And how they ate. And built a little village. This is how they lived. What you just told me? That's what was here. See, and then in their little dissertation, they will tell you that they dug up all the bodies. And that's what we asked them, well, did you do a geological study on the bones? Yes, we did. I said, so what did you find? Oh, we're not releasing that information. But they're telling all the melanated people that the oldest bone found in the world is over in France, and her name is Lucy. But they won't tell you about the bones they found around the mountains of North Carolina. You know why? Because they're way older than Lucy, and they've been here. So now, how do you get the heirs apparent, get me? Apparent, copper color, apparent, to abandon their vast estate? You convince them that it's over there. Now, how many people, I might be dating myself, how many people remember the Back to Africa movement? I know I'm dating myself. Back to Africa movement. They made songs about it. I mean, and they were wonderful sounding songs. But you got to know that Africa is right here. This misnomer that they call America is really Al-Marak, Northwest Africa, the North Gate. And any Mason or Masonic lodge that you go into, the north side will always be dark because the Moors, the Aboriginal indigenous people of this land, they're asleep. And so the north side is always dark. It is the most elaborate side of all buildings, but it's dark. Islam?
And you're carrying that concept about this land.
No, it's not older. It's not older. This was all one land. It was all connected. There was no break.
So if this all love, why was this?
I didn't say this was older. I said the people here are the oldest people on planet Earth. That's why they call us, our ancestors, the ancient ones. And that's why the United Nations have us
as the Aboriginal indigenous people because we are the oldest people on planet Earth.
In this side of
the whole planet.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely.
Yes, because we're the original people. We're the... I hear it too. Hold on.
Anybody else?
This is the heartland.
Landmass on the planet is North, South, Central, India, Joining Island. Although the Africa was connected.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yes.
So the empire in the heart of is, I don't know if I hear this. The empire in the heart is here. That's why everybody wants to come here. That's why it's the place to be. The land of milk and honey. The temple of the sun and the moon. The place to be. The vacation. Everybody wants to come here. Everybody wanted to get here in the first place because people were living here in freedom. You know, even the Indica Divina tells you they found the people here, guys. They found the people here living in peace. It's right in the Indica Divina. Living in peace. Not eating flesh. All right? And believing in one God. Yeah. Right? That's from wherever.
You want to go over?
I need a microphone. Do you mind? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, but I was going out on yours, right? Okay. And it just already turned up for some reason my phone's not taking the charge. So this is what makes this land, this portion, North America, that includes South America. Because remember, Columbus really was in Haiti, correct? Right? But didn't they say he discovered America? Don't they have in history books that he did so? But yet he was in where? Haiti. So my brethren and sisters that's in South America, at the Jordan Islands, they have the same situation that we have in that, you know, they're not Dominicans trying to come to America. They're not Haitians trying to come to America. They're in it already. And this is why Prophet Noble Ali said this is the uniting of Asia. So the same issues that's going on here goes on there. And they got to take the same stance and position as well. I keep hearing a beep. So, yeah, hold on a moment, because if you want to speak, we want to give you the mic. So can you hold your voice for a sec? Hold your thought? Yeah, I'm sure you do, because I bet you got family in South America, don't you? Your people are from Haiti. See? Now, all right, so we're going to hear from him on that. But see, here's the thing. Like I said, we read the history books. It says that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Even as the reason that he called the people Indians is because he thought he was in India because he wasn't the greatest navigator on the planet. So therefore, he thought he was Indian. But guess what, my people? That's documented that he thought that he was in Haiti. in India. And that's right. And if you call it the West Indies, right? Right. Hello? And they call it West Indies today. That's not Aboriginal, though, is it? No, that's a misnomer, isn't it? All right. So now, this is all documented matters of fact. Nobody should have to stand up on this floor or anywhere else and convince the people of that when it's already documented as true. It just is already documented. So when Prophet Noah Ali said, because he's a master at national principles and getting the people together for what is necessary to happen here, which is confess your own, to worship under your own vine and fig tree, which means family. And we're family bearing one name. That's it. Free national appellation, AOFA. Not, I was supposed to be speaking to someone over today. I'm going to go back to that. Somebody remind me to say why you don't use Ali and Al on this part, because it needs to be explained, because, we're one family. So now if we recognize that, that if, in fact, I'm trying to go back to this Christopher Columbus stuff. Why am I going back? Because that is what everybody was taught in school. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Then you read everything that your children are taught about history is about what he said. It's about what he did. It's about all that, but they hide the fact that the doctrine that allowed him to even come here was the Inter Divina. Now, we did the Qatar Divina, and it tells you exactly what the purpose to come here for. So it wouldn't matter whether he in Haiti or Canaan or this portion of the Eastern Seaboard. It doesn't matter. Those are just facts. Because, see, Pastor Noah normally said if I could get you to thinking, you would free yourself, and you wouldn't need nobody to free you, because what we just went over is an example of getting us to think to free ourselves. So I don't need to tell my sister and brother in Haiti or Dominican Republic or South America that, we're all brethren. Because if we put the thoughts together and get to thinking on the facts, it's there. Done. Let's consider it done. Move on. Well, see, you say you got Dominicans killing the Haitians, saying they're two different people. But the truth of the matter is, it's not the thing. It's the corporate veil over top of there that has been killing each other. It's the education, right? They're the same people. Right, this is what he's saying. Right, they're saying that they're killing each other, thinking they're not. But it's really the corporate veil that has been put on the Inquisition information, which is all that we have ever been taught, is what they wanted us to know. Period. They burnt the books. They burnt the damn books. Everybody knows about the burning of the books, but you don't know why. Now you do. So they burnt the books of the history and the facts, and they reconstructed the history around 1700. Everybody knows about the Reconstruction Act, but no one ever asked what the hell was being reconstructed. Oh, yeah, the Reconstruction era. Well, what was that? So now they told us what you wanted to know, what they wanted us to know, right? Right? So we didn't learn anything about what's behind those actions. I tell you that this process that we're dealing with right now is almost like one continuous flow. One cannot be acknowledged without the other. Too many of us are getting a little bit of information and running with it without the entire source of it's like having a DNA strand. You know what I mean? You got to have the whole thing. So this is what is going on. And then they're running out there with that, but as soon as asked, or soon as put in a position, they can't give the rest of the supporting source of information or know where to go after that. Because the truth of the matter is you and I can only be who we are and what we know. We can only be what we know. Therefore, we being who we are. And so, therefore, it's not nothing that has to be so specially broke out. Well, write that. I have a friend. Can you write that down for me? Well, this is not the time. Yeah, what book is that? Right, mother. What book is that? Some things is in the book of your DNA. It's not written because they didn't write it down for you. They burst. Okay, let's say it again. They burst them up. And then we were like, well, what book is it in? They burst them up. So why is this divide first? Because it's in the DNA of the history of what has been done already. And why now say, oh, that sounds kind of vague. What is that? It's the simplicity of being born and of existing and of being a spirit manifested in the flesh. So you've got to go to the divine of it all in order to get it. But I'll tell you that one thing is for some time. We are one family. I want to go back to the fighting Haiti fighting Dominicans thinking they're different people. We're right here in this land. We think we're different people and we're fighting each other right now. You got people saying they got the Nawapian nation, the Yamasee nation, the this nation. Well, what family man wants for national operation, which is an LRB. They got the damn nerve to have an LRB into that shit and then say there's something different. What is that craziness? How do you want to have the everybody knows that it's nation time. Everybody knows that it's time to perfect your nationality. Period. And then I really beg to say they're a different nation. What? Division. What is the problem with us today is to still think lack of knowledge, of course, but there's too much information up here everywhere to have lack of knowledge anymore. Because it's over here anyway. If you study, you find it. Misinformation is what that is what's killing everybody. So now you got a bunch of charlatans. When I say charlatans, I'm not going after them personally because I don't care. You need to recognize when someone is doing that because they don't have, like, a lot of people are looking for money. Knowing that it isn't any. That the real gold and silver wasn't even meant for you. It was meant for the corporations. The Union States, they had to have gold and silver to back, we back them, but still, that's what it was, right? Wasn't that for you? You can trade anything you damn well please to. But we got our mindset that it has to be like that. So after the gold and silver, they put the check in front of it, right? They put the Federal Reserve note in front of that, and then while you looking at the Federal Reserve note, the gold, we're back up. That you're still investing in the Federal Reserve, right? That's what it is. That's all it is. Because in the end, tomorrow, if the world's gonna end, it's gonna be this. If you're alive, you wake up. If you find your way, you're gonna need some water. You're gonna need some sustenance. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you think the world's ending tomorrow, and we're ignorant to believe that. So I've been here for billions and billions of years. Like this. So we can't even count it. What the hell makes us think it's going to blow up tomorrow? Right. It's the new era of time, a new paradigm, a new vibration, a new energy, and those who cannot keep up with it will lose their mind. And that is, did you say that, Mom? That's what's happening today. They're losing their mind. So when they give you the stories about the zombies, which is the living dead, that's real. That's symbolic of what's real. You understand? But we're not concerned so much about, we're only concerned about us recognizing those things because if you're focused on what you're supposed to be focused on, you would recognize it yourself. But I see your hand up, right? Oh, you're scratching. I need to go to, wait 1 second. Let me know when there's a microphone ready. All right. So now, back to again. I'm still going back there because it's important. We're talking about
Writers in the Semitic they see the language, so this language there.
yeah.
They look at the colors of all.
Yeah, well,
They respect that line as a very incredible line. That's why I'm different, right?
Caste system and willingness.
Yeah.
You're light or I'm brown. I'm dark, you're light.
Yeah.
That, right. Okay, all right. You know what I mean by that? Less let me just
Islam. It's more about not dark or light. It's about religion. Because the Europeans brought you Christianity, so it's about religion.
Oh, I see what you said. Right.
The Pope brought it here.
about Christian and Moor, or Christian and Muslim and Islam.
You went to a church one time and people go to church. They don't even know. They won't allow the church.
All right, turn it on. I can give you this. It's on. All right, well, see, now that's a very good point, because we've been talking about this, and we've been going back to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Treaty of Peace and Friendship, what does it say? It says Christians and Moor, Christian powers and Moorish powers. That's it, that's all. Don't say nothing about no religion. Matter of fact, in the Expatriation Act, page, what is it, 525 or something like that, we get the saying ipso jure, meaning as a sheer matter of law, right? Everybody who's not the more civilian, national is the subject to the Moorish nation if you're here. Period. That's why the Constitution is there for them. So now, it says also in that, this is congressional records we're talking, it says that this country was not built on Christian religion. Let me say it again. This country is not built on Christian religion. It's built on the Islamic code. It's in the congressional record. Obama came to say the same. Obama said the same thing in the book called in his speech. That we booked when he went to Cairo, Egypt. That's why they don't like him. That's one of the reasons why. But who cares why they don't like him? Because wherever the information comes from, we need to, let it hit us in our DNA. So what happened is that he says that. Now, you've got to understand. We got to understand that listen, this whole migration and immigration of those who came here on the boat. Yeah, we came on ships when we felt like it, but say that. Those who actually came on boats was not you. As slaves was not you. Now, was there a time period when you were enslaved and where some people did come on boats? Yeah. But for the most part, you got Aboriginal and Indigenous. So go back to Christopher Columbus, who said what? Who said that he thought he was in India, so they named the natives Indians. But in the 1895 school book, Salinas, Kansas public school, it says in order for them to pass the test, 8th graders. In order for the 8th graders to pass the test, they had to know that Christopher Columbus was mistaken. They say it in there. They was mistaken that they were the Native Americans, they're not Indians. It's right in the 1895 school test, and they say they want to know what's wrong with the school system because they ain't teaching right. They ain't teaching a good curriculum. In Texas, that's where this is Salinas, Kansas, that this test was from. I apologize. But that curriculum was really what we taught them.
I don't understand why all the public school books made in Texas.
They're considered to be the best in the country, so everyone follows their curriculum.
Hold on. Printing books and gaining a curriculum are two different things. Because I know that if you really wanted to do bookbinding, you would go out to some of the Midwest things. They still got a lot of bookbinding. It is known for that, but that doesn't mean, you know what I mean, that they had anything to do with the text of the book. So, I don't know what to say about that, but we need to know, yeah. Oh, yeah, the brother, prepare him to speak next. No, you hold on to that. Just turn it up. He's got another one. So I know that, whatever, we need to stop worrying about what they do, because what they do is what they do. And they are corporations. And here's what really gets me. If we really, really, really could, would, or wanted to, this could be over with tomorrow. But we got a lot of people who think they know what's happening with national principles, looking to get finance from you still to this day, which is ridiculous, and leading you into contracts, agreements, processes that are absolutely under the statutes and stuff of these union states that are the corporate states today. believable. You have nothing to prove to them. Flip the switch. You should be making sure they're enforcing the Constitution by and how do you do that? The Prophet Noble Drew said himself, I have given you enough to save a nation. Oh, yes. I've given you enough information to save a nation. What is a nation? That just means being born. That's it, and that's all. I've given you enough, but you know what? I'll tell you, I'm going to make it easy for you. Just go save your own self. Because if you save yourself and you save yourself and you and we all did, we're done. Well, then how do you know when we are there? Because we talk the same language. You don't go to somebody and say, well, here's what you got to do. You know, you got to go. You need the birth certificate. Oh, my gosh. Hey, that calls me. It's a proof of human trafficking document. And you didn't create it. So why would you go redeem it and go through the process? And when in the end, if you understand what expatriation is, it is okay, y'all talk a little too loud over there on the left side. I can hear you here and the E. We can hear y'all. All right. If you really know what expatriation is, you would realize that in that birth certificate process, you just expatriated yourself from the land. But if you haven't studied, you're going to go do it because someone said so. But that's what's happening. See, because here's what we have to realize about the force of the unity. If that was the right thing to do, they wouldn't so easily allow you to do it because you need their agreement in order to do it. And their corporations, they ain't doing nothing lawful because anything that makes it so that you make your declaration and proclamation, meaning it's written, it doesn't need to be done by them. You just put them on notice. You know, people say, what are we going to do? Where's that government? Where's that building? I mean, that's the inconsequential shit. I mean, it's like putting a horse before the cart, but yet once you get there, the cart's already there waiting for you, you know, because it says, I have prepared the table for you. It's already prepared. You want to get there before you want to get the benefit before you actually actualize it and know what it is. That's why you can't have it. You want to ask for something and want it so bad that you get the other side and don't even recognize it. So, you know, where's your government? Where do you get that from? From the conditioning. Because like I said, if everything shut down tomorrow and you woke up, you're still going to be needing some water at minimum. And that's all you need to know. If you depend upon this other thing, okay, she was just telling you about what the probate court was, right? Probate court. Like, how much more exposing can it be? They get you at birth, and then they get you at death. You're owned by them because of your submission to it, not because you have to be. So now you wonder why they're so upset, because you're getting ready to pull the carpet from under them so that you can feed your babies for a change, so that you could have the parents parenting to your own children. Rather than telling you, because you already know all they want to do is financial exchange. It's called human trafficking. It's done all day, every day. They are on the scene to collect, particularly and especially, sons, to remove them, to take away, take their heart away. To leave them breathless, to make it so they cannot really protect anything or anybody. Because you can't protect if you don't know who you are. You're not sure who you're supposed to be protected. So they're doing all of this. It's called genocide. So until we can stop talking about some dadgummit birth certificate, redemption, expatriation, statutes of the state. Why do you think the Prophet said, enforce the Constitution for the United States of America, which is the national constitution that we had to set up because we were bringing farmers in. Before we brought the farmers in, we didn't even need the damn Constitution. I mean, for real, but yet it is the oldest because it's built on what? Ancient principles. Ancient principles of civilization and government. So that's it, and that's all. It's real, people really want peace. They're documenting they want the peace. So if every time people really, really, really want peace, they don't enforce that document, which is a national document, which is a national constitution. All right, let's get clear. No, the treaty of peace and friendship. There's a lot of treaties, but the only treaty you need to be concerned about, which they act like, here's what's interesting. Let's get it real. I don't know who Moors are. What do you mean you are more American? If it wasn't for the treaty between Moors and Christians, your ass wouldn't be here. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I mean, how dare you? Okay, let's get it straight. Let's get it really, really, really straight. First, you came over here on British plantations to work on British plantations. That's the daggone truth. Everybody knows it. The only problem is that we thought it was us. No, it wasn't us, because the British are the brutish Moors. Straight number one. Then you were left here by them because they did other treaties with other people because they didn't give a goddamn about the slaves, the Slavics. Let's get real and tell the truth again. Then you were saying, damn, this isn't fair. The natives here don't really like us anymore. They greeted us all right. They fed us when we were dying. You can go right up to any place where they have a farm and they have like the moonwalk or where you could go through the corn maze, because I did it. So I ain't telling you what I don't know. And you go through a corn. Shit, I thought we was just going to have a bonfire type thing on my solar return, which by the way is October 22nd. So I'm thinking we're going to have a bonfire, choose the full moon in October, which was close to that at that time. Right into people, mostly your sisters, so we can do what we do on bonfire. The fire. Oh, I love the fire. I love the fire, right? And then part of that was to go through a maze, through the corn maze, and it happened to be the full moon, so you didn't need a flashlight. And then as you go through it, they got a little information and stuff. Yes, we were starving, and I can't remember who they said them. I can't remember the name, the appellation, but it was a Moor. It was a native. Because them mother jumpers are not the natives. This we know. So there can't be the nationals. It can't be American at all. Because it is subject citizens, because they immigrated and went through that process. That's the only reason. If it's not for that, they got a mother too. They got a nationality also. Claim that shit. It's time to claim it. Oh, when St. Patrick's Day comes, you claim it. It's your Irish, damn it. Come on. Get the hell out of here. That means your ass is not American. So we need to really get this straight. To stop acting like stupid. Because point number 3, after the independence, the Declaration of Independence, because you were tired of being treated the way you were being treated, and the Amalekites really didn't do nothing. They would allow their cousins, the British Moors, to come over here and set up companies, I mean, we did. We allowed it to happen because, we allowed it to happen, but we didn't know they was going to treat it like that. And, they left abandoning stuff. Now the natives is pissy mad with them. Look, the Constitution was ratified, was established in 1789. Same year a refrigerator was invented. Why? Because they was eating meat and just leaving dead carcasses all over the place. It's ignorant stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't eat meat. We didn't eat meat. It's documented that we were not eating flesh. Do you get that? That's a documentation of fact. It's in the purpose of the Intercattata Divina. This is what they documented that they found. We're not just saying this. So that helps you when you know that it's documented that they found people who didn't eat flesh. Why people tell you stop eating the daggone flesh.
Interesting.
We know why they want you to keep eating it, but that's irrelevant anymore. Oh, you're right, the brother back here. You know what, I'm on a roll. So hold on, before you do that, I don't want to miss my raw point, which is I was on point number 2 or 3 about the modern Europeans. You understand why they're modern? Because the original Europeans that even established Europe was us. That's why the Pope rolls down with the shield or this coat of arms of the Lord on the top that he's with. because Emir is the daddy of these modern Europeans, but their granddaddy is the Moor. And he knows it, but we don't know it. He didn't just come to do the ritual and the magic. He came to collect finance, which is done on the equinoxes, which is established. And he also came because it was a heightened red moon, what they call blood moon, equinox, and the season change came in. It was some heavy time, heavy energy planetarily that was happening. So that's why, come, because rituals is definitely a part of definitely a part of all of our lives anyway, because when we're thinking and we say things, that's a ritual. Yes, but I'm sorry, I think you wanted to mention about Haiti. Well, come on with.
Well, actually, my initial...
Cut your mic on or talk in it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on. Just talk in it.
Yeah, actually, my question was initially in reference to...
Talk to the mic.
My question was pertaining to something that the sister made mention earlier about the oldest remains being found here. As opposed, you know how they say in Africa, it's Lucy, but she made mention that they found the oldest bones here. Where could I research them, Doctor?
No, you didn't say that. You said they say that the oldest bones they found were in France.
I think in North Carolina, the sister made mention.
But Lucy that she spoke of, they say was found in Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that already. What I didn't know was that the oldest remains, which is older than Lucy, she stated in so many words. That's what I processed.
What, that was in France?
No, not in France. North Carolina.
Well, she said Africa, but you gotta understand.
No, she said...
She said France, but she meant Africa. And we're in Northwest Africa.
I actually heard her say something... here, right here.
Oh, she was saying, okay, all right, yeah, cool. She was saying the mounds.
Right.
All right. Yeah. You're going to have a lot of people that talk. I think the Washington mainly, they really got great information on that about the mounds. A lot of the mounds are actually golf courses right now. And a lot of the mounds are in the mid-center, Midwest, in which, the waters that came up, they don't even want they don't even want to fly over it anymore. The oldest pyramid is called Cholula, and it's in South America, I think it is. South, yeah. Because really, the beginning of the oldest pyramids are really here, not in Giza. Not in Africa. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know about the pyramids already.
Yeah, well,
I don't know about is the remnant of a person. I think you made mention there was a female.
Lucy.
That was aside from Lucy.
Did you mention another remnant of bones other than Lucy, older than Lucy?
We could always reveal it. Or they wouldn't.
Well, she was saying that the mound here is older, and maybe the pyramids, but she didn't say. Did you say that there were some remains that was found? Maybe you misunderstood you. Older than Lucy? No. She didn't say that. Hello? She didn't say that. Okay. That's not what she said. You misunderstood her. Where? You know what? Here's the deal. Here's the mic. No, we have another one. Hold on. Here's the deal. Wherever they find the oldest remains matters not, because Moors are the first navigators on the entire planet. Every aboriginal and indigenous person on the planet is a Moor first navigator, and that is why this is called the uniting of Asia, because the entire planet is called Asia. Asia Minor and Asia Major. Now, when you were in school, they told you about Asia Minor being over there. They never told you you're standing in Asia Major. All right, so it doesn't matter. All four corners, that's what a prophet says in a one-on-one. What is a prophet? But to send messages to all four corners of the earth. And also, as you know, I don't care where you go on this planet, China, Japan, it does not matter. Ireland, so-called Ireland. The ancestors there are going to be melanated people because they're the first navigators Moors. Period. And that's why the Pope can come here and the coat of arms and Moor. You can't, period. They recorded 1213 Chrysler, Germany, which is the oldest recording they can get on, but that doesn't mean that because they weren't really recording private, but even that's cool because when we say 1213, we understand that, for instance, I just deal with a document of 1880, Treaty of Verona, and I was talking with Sister Anita, and I was trying to put it all together, and she said, nope, that's the one, just like the treaty. You must subtract 580 years. Why would you believe me to tell you must subtract 500? Well, I don't know, but you don't have to believe me. It's to get to thinking and sometimes visual. Read the treaty itself. It says 1200 it was put out. But then it says that the modern Europeans, the Americans, Jefferson and all of them, they signed it in, what do they call it, 1787. Do the math.
Right.
It's on the same document. So it's like we didn't make that up. I
know you didn't.
Well, now, 1787 is when it was established. 1789 is when it was ratified. 1789 is when the Constitution, 1787, I found out 9 months later, the Constitution was also put out, but ratified in 91. You understand? So here's the succession, which I was saying earlier. This is not about some bull crap. This is not about just whatever. This is a process of bringing Europeans into the constitutional fold of their government, which is why they go everywhere colonizing, because they need to be brought in. It's just that simple. It's not about hating them. It's not about that. It's about knowing the daggone truth, which is the light.
Absolutely.
They need to be brought into the constitutional fold of government, the Declaration of Independence close it. Just freaking close it. Because my mother, they were established in the Yucatan, Patmos Island, and Patagonian Islands as experiments in DNA and gene splicing. It ain't nothing new under the sun. And that is why Hitler himself said, could you tell them to take their conversation outside? Brothers don't understand, their voices just are too deep. They just rumble through the room. That's why Hitler said, I am going on where? To Argentina, which is the modern name for the Patmos Island. Do you get it? No, we don't dismiss it. We just miss it because we have misinformation. But it's not hidden. And there's nothing new. So when we are sitting here today trying to, bring ourselves back into the constitutional form of government, if you will, and we think that there's something new or some new process, we haven't gotten it yet. Because this is not new, this is ancient. So if you're doing some new process, right, you should know now that's the wrong thing to do. Because it's simplistic. Declare your nationality. Has nothing to do with anything that could ever be written at all, ever. It means you declare it. You know what it is. And proclaiming it means you print it. And you give it to notice to anyone that you feel needs to know. I don't even go tell you, send it to your aunt and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's it, that's all.
Good sister.
And if you haven't done that most simplistic thing, you got no business trying to do anything else. I said if you haven't done that simplistic thing of declaring and proclaiming, you have no business doing it else. Not at all. Because no matter what you do, you're going to foul it up and it's going to foul you up because you have lost and don't have the concept, which is the foundation. And that brings me back to this. In the John Adams letter, as I was going back to what I said, number 2, number 3 with the Europeans, let me just get this out. Hold your thought. In the John Adams letter, I told you, no, not the John Adams letter, in being brought over as Slavic slaves, right? Then won freedom. So for the Declaration of Independence, 1776, right? And then the John Adams letter, analysis of a John Adams letter, analysis of John Adams. Yes, it's on the site homepage, right at the top navigation. I said top navigation, not side navigation, because we have so much information I had to start putting top navigation for what's on the page. So you will see that in it says it was in 1780, and they had the audacity and the arrogance, because let me tell you something, there are some arrogant people. Anytime somebody thinks that they're better than you because their skin is different, that's some arrogant shit. That's some misinformation for real, and nobody in this generation is going for that crap. Thank goodness. You know, because it's just ridiculous, and the universe isn't accepting it anymore, so they can walk that way if they want to. Something's going to happen to you, because that's divine law. And you got to go with that. You just got to go with that and do what's right no matter what. Lions, tigers, and bears seems to be there. So here, so now, in that letter, they're saying with their arrogant asses that, I mean it, you'll see it when you read it, but you should read it. It's eloquently written, sons and daughters and mothers and sisters. You really want to know how you write stuff. It's no big deal, not really. Just kind of say it. You know, that particular document you will find, if you look up the words you don't know, we were looking at them like, you got a lot of nerve. As a matter of fact, the very first line of it said, you asking us for a treaty of commerce is like furnishing a house before the foundation has been laid. First line of the daggone analysis of the letter. Well, didn't Benjamin Banneker, did they call him what do they call him now? Benjamin Banneker dropped off the bay, yeah, because that's the title to the line. That's the title to the estate. Let's make sure we chop those off. He told him the same thing. Excuse you? Didn't we just help you get out of the war? And now you're looking at my brethren? Because they look a little tattered and torn for fighting for your ass, by the way, to get you free, to make sure you were free, because you said, you know, what is it? All men are created equal and endowed by their creator, whoever that is. And now you're talking like you want to enslave my brethren? Hold on. And that's when you realize where the deceit begins. Well, the Dred Scott decision really is nothing compared to a decision that happened even before the courts were even established by a sister. And I tell you right now, I don't want to speak on it because I don't have it on the top of my cranium, but it was researched. My son, Ms. Raheem, researched it. He said that it was. Are you aware of it? Did he tell you about it, the one about the sister? I wish I knew. Maybe he'll text it in to you if he's listening, about the sister who won the first case regarding before the courts were even, before Dred Scott. Because Dred Scott knew that ain't nothing. Because he thought he was a Negro. He thought he was a slave. That's why he was a plaintiff in error. No, Dred Scott was the improper appellation. He was how did that case go? Ended up plaintiff in error. Because he says he's Dred Scott instead of Dred Scott Bay. Thank you. All right. Now, let's talk about this. He went from a free state to a not free state, or from a not free state to a free state. And let's talk about what the state is. It got jack to do with you. We should never be residents or anything with the state, because Amendment 13, 12, the 20 sections, because they didn't print. See, they did print the 20 sections. It's in the congressional record to show you the deceit. They then, after murdering Lincoln, they put out and published only 3 sections of the 13th Amendment. Was it 3 or 2? 2 True. But if you read the congressional records, 12 says, if you are of African descent, because that's what we were calling at the time, because this is Northwest Africa, you cannot be citizens of the United States of America. God damn, come on, just get to thinking. But we keep claiming that we are for lack of knowledge, so it wouldn't matter about what state he was in or not in. It doesn't matter. This is the American land. These states are company names for Europeans who came here under companies. When they say we're in New York, what do they talk about? The courts. When they have this, later that the British Moors did agreements with the Dutch, that's when they left the very first lobbies over here, greasing and gold, didn't care. They treated them badly. But the Constitution freed everybody in this land, and they had a gold audacity not to want to follow that. And at the expense of your freedom today. It's ridiculous. And they want to hold on to that. They want to talk about peace and justice. Shield. And we'll send policemen out to infiltrate your shit. Policy enforcers up to the street, to grab your ass and kidnap you just to save that. It's ridiculous. Kill you on the street just to save that. That's ridiculous. Send infiltrators to your meetings to try to save that. That's ridiculous. Because all they do is the people who are what the hell they're talking about to talk to them. And what do they do but gather intelligence? So they say. So freaking what? Nobody doing nothing wrong. This is freedom for everybody. What did she say earlier? Land in the plan over the damn way. This shit wasn't you. You came as a slave. What you want me to think I came as a slave? Please, it's a lie. To rob you of your liberties. Who would want to do that? But an evil entity energy, a selfish, arrogant, afraid of what's to come next energy that lives in your mind. And if it's on your mind, we will manifest it in your life. And we've manifested that we're slaves. We've manifested we've had no contributions. And then we find all this list of stuff that we've actually really done. We're like, yeah. I thought we couldn't read and write in the 1600s. How could we have created the bicycle? How could we have created the refrigerator? How could we have created anything that you name American? We created, invented. I did that research. That's what got me where I am right now. Saying, damn, how did that sound right? But that's the path that I'm on, and you're probably on too, to be where we are today. You know what I mean? Like that. So it's a lie. But this monster is so damn big, they got the nerve want to kill you on the street to preserve it. And now their granddaddy, their father came and said, yo, they ain't nothing but immigrants. I'm a foreigner too. And now they want to slice his neck. It's like a freaking colonist, a vampire that sucks your blood. There's a bloodline, all right? And then, now, like they really want to be and say, screw you, and then expect you to have some damn honor. That is slavery. It is bureaucratic slavery. That's what it is. And the only reason we can't seem to come together to deal with this and enforce that which we should enforce, which is the national constitution, the American national constitution, right, for the republic. Why is it for the republic? Because it's for someone who needs to have a representative form of government. And who was that? Europeans. Because it's not their land. You're going to dispute, you're gonna throw that away and then bring in a democracy and we can't see? For real, it's not a play on words when you say Republicans for the people, those who need a representative, but they do. Because you can't have sovereignty in a place that is not your own land. You're German, you can have full sovereignty in Germany, even though that's not an Aboriginal name either, but you understand what I'm saying. When Americans feel, please stand up. That's what this is about, because they have to take America, because number 3 is, then you come over on Ellis Island. Now you're over on Ellis Island, you admit that they jumped off half their names, from those long names, and then they came over with nothing on their back, nothing. They talk about it. We didn't have nothing, we came over on Ellis Island. The original squatters. And they want to tell you about claiming a house that's abandoned, that is not unlawful to do. Get the hell out of here. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're original squatters. And it is documented, came with nothing. Now let's talk about from Ellis Island back. Why do you think they feel as if it's all right to some degree to do this? Because if you talk to let's take it from Ellis Island back for them. Their ancestors talked to them about how their asses were slaves over here. And they want a better life for them over here than what they had. It's not even complicated. And so it's like, come on, bring your weary. Who the hell do you think they talk to? Man, because we're in it. We're here already. So we're like, come on and do that. I tell you what. We're going to stop messing with you on the seas because really we don't like the fact of slavery. We're responsible for all this. We're one nation. Right? So, Betsy, make the banner. Yeah. All right, got Betsy making the banner. All right. Not a flag. This shit ain't a flag. Flag represents the people, right? So, like, get our flag. They're going to put their flag in place. Are they angry because of the way they were treated for slavery? Oh, my God, what a reversal here. What a reversal here. Because they're looking at us. Yeah, look at them, man, because of the way we treated them when they were slaves. They never really were slaves. It's the other way around. Man's business is about what? Reflection. They're reflecting that shit on you because any lower activity of human goodness and virtues is nothing but a reflection of lower self. And all of that is a reflection of your lower self that you created anyway, established anyway. So, so I guess you make them better. We even got a song. We even had a song called The Star Singer, Banner. But now people say, why should she say banner and flag? What's the difference? Look at us. There is a difference between a banner and a flag. A flag represents people, and a banner is really an ensign. It's an ensign, and it represents maybe a company, maybe some establishment, but it ain't a flag. So, we're going to let you fly on the seas. Moors and Christians, power to the Moors, power to the Christians. So we know what the Christians' power want. They want to kill your ass. I mean, really, this whole thing is about, that's what they want to do, because God said it was good to kill you if you did not believe in Jesus Christ, their Savior. Jesus Christ looked like you. That's my president. That's my son. How dare you have the arrogance enough to tell me that I need to believe in my own son like you do. This is ridiculous and arrogant. This is truth. They along with you. It's truth. Wear it. Let it shine because it's the truth. How dare you be so arrogant? Talk about the lower self of humanity and why it needs to be uplifted. My Lord, look at that. You know, this is it. Because there's nothing but a reflection of our lower self. That's why some people say that the white man, quote unquote, is the devil. And he like grafted in the laboratory. He was grafted in the laboratory, but not the white man. But it's close to not no cigar, because really the devil is what? No such thing. It is a reflection of your higher self, or it reflects your lower self. So that means all the qualities that they have that are unjust is what is within us that we establish and put in them. That's it, that's all. And if you see it that way, you can fix it. The problem is arrogance goes down hard, and a lot of my sons have run into adopted, that average. And that patriarchal mindset thinking, because remember, the European doctors, not others, because those like you, the mother, they're the daughter. That's why they're the daughters. I'm going to remind you again of the American Revolution. A bunch of European women, daughters, not mothers, daughters. And what did they have to revolt against, some of you would say? Oh, we're the slaves. What do they have that was they know? Because they were. They weren't concubines of your Moorish sons. Yes, they were. Straight from across the Barbary Coast. Yes, you saw that. Yes, they were. And they were rebelling against it. Yes, they were. And then when they had their children, their sons, they taught them in the womb to come out and hang your son. And that's why you have to live. Because that's how you establish living in the womb. Put people into society. People in society from the womb, the first school, and they taught their sons to hate your sons. Destroy them. And that's what they're trying to do. But, you're free for a multiply. We're on what corners of the earth. But, this is just the truth. Then they teach you to try to be like them. Please. Really? Really? And then we wonder why we're so cutthroat and nasty to each other. Because, see, and don't like each other. We've been taught that. Really taught that. So now, I got past Ellis Island, the original squatters, right? So now, I don't know, script being flipped, right? 3 weeks ago, Michelle Obama did a nationalization ceremony, right? Might be the only real nationalization ceremony that ever happened, because it can't be done except for someone who is a representative of the nation, of America, the sovereignty of America. It can't be done like this. They got everybody all messed up about immigration this and immigration that. They can't. They ain't got nobody to immigrate nobody. They immigrants themselves. So the Pope came and reminded them, you're immigrants. Like, really? But see, we told you they were immigrants. Many of us have said it 1,000 and 20 many times. But now the Pope comes and says it, and now, oh boy, must be true. But here's the thing. No, that's the conditioning. And that's why they can pick off those who teach and isolate them who try to do harm. Because you won't freaking listen. You make the people who risk their time and their energy to give you real information be isolated and picked out because you don't even believe what they're telling you until this European tells you. So when the reports came out not too long ago about how they have been interviewing Moors, like they don't know who they are. Trinity piece of friendship. That's what got you here. Remember Betsy made the the banner, and it was for the purpose of it was considered on the scenes as a military inside ENSIGN. Look it up. Banner. So that you could get through the waterway without being molested by the pirates, which were Moors. Blackbeard, they call them. And so on, and do the study, you'll see. So, why are you telling me you don't know who a Moor is? The audacity of you. And then after that treaty of peace and friendship that allowed your behind to get here on the waters as safely as we could, because some people did not get the memo, and they were still messing with you. I know, but hey, they didn't get the memo. Just like right now. They didn't get to the land. Oh, no problem. Because he's a process. What was it? The January 1787 came out the treaty, and October came out the Constitution? September. So that's 9 months later. See, 9 months later. So, right? 9 months later. Baby born. Everything is working out. 9 months later comes the Constitution. Now, the treaty got ratified first, because it had to be. Ain't gonna be no Constitution if you ain't gonna make the peace. Makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't everything make sense? This European taught you stuff that don't make no sense. Now, for real, now we come out with, oh, cool, you got your face? I'm glad you got your face. We just want to make peace. We want to make it for everybody to live in peace and not be molested. That's all we want to do. Because this is, love and peace and love. But everybody's trying to compare it to whether or not you live up to the standards of a modern European who you taught. That's some shit right there. So we want to make sure we hear it. Okay, safe? Okay, cool. Now, let me just tell you. This is the law of the land. This is the law of the land. Supreme law of the land. Meaning that when they give you them damn constitutions that you're looking at now, the state constitution, we got some Moors out there actually telling other Moors to go certified and get a certified copy of a state constitution, but they won't tell them to get a certified copy of the treaty. They won't tell them to get a certified copy of the national freaking American national constitution. But go get the state because they still, in that. Statutes, ordinance, policies, first of all, they're not law, and second of all, they can change their shit whenever they feel like it. But they can't change the Constitution because it is a written law. It is a written document. As such, it cannot be altered. What it meant when it was adopted is what it means now. That's enough power for all of us to hold on to. And that's why the prophet said enforce it, because he wouldn't tell you to enforce something that he knew would change. He wouldn't tell you to enforce it if he knew it would change. That's why he said, I gave you something you can't tear up. The Bill of Rights, let me explain to you, is 7 articles and 10 Bill of Rights. Okay, 7 articles and 10 Bill of Rights, correct? Correct? Let's explain to you the chicken dick stuff that these Europeans do to people who don't study and don't know. When the Constitution was being established, it was only 7 articles, but then they realized it's a little bit too vague. Let's add 10 Bill of Rights so they would be not misconstrued. Matter of fact, I believe number 9 says not to be misconstrued. To detain any other rights that are not written is not in here. It is not to be misconstrued because it's required by the people or the state. State meaning a positive public state, not the corporate state, or a state that you occupy land. Because that's what state means. They are occupiers of land. And they needed to be formed informally. And they may have made some constitutions on their own. That's the constitution that Dave and I went through one the other day, and it was mind-blowing. What was it called? The 1777 Constitution of New York, where they were saying, look, they were being molested by religions themselves, and said, oh, this is wicked. Come. Wicked priests and princesses. Princess, yeah. So, Article 38 and 39 of the 19. If you pull it out, we can read it. If you pull it out, I know you can. You got it right on your hip. So check it out. So now we get the Constitution, like where I'm at, right? Oh, the Bill of Rights, that's right. All right, so we're like, okay, we're not going to let it be too vague. Because, see, don't you think your ancestors didn't know what we were working with? What do you think the prophet is? If you look up the word prophet, it says one who knows what's the foreseer. But you go to the churches, and we don't believe in foreseers. That's record. Why the hell are you calling yourself a prophetess or a prophet then? It's the hypocrisy. Well, the book. A book of what is, what was, and what is to come. Sarcastic. I don't believe in that. It's the devil stuff. So anyway, seriously, it's just hypocrisy at its best. Now, so before the 7 articles got ratified as it was being so, because it took a couple of years to get everybody on board, they said, let's amend that. Oops, it already went out in the mail. No problem. We're going to amend it. You can do that today. You can amend it, right? Add stuff to it. I'm just saying it wasn't really the mail, but, So they said, we're going to add the Bill of Rights as amendment to this Constitution. So they were added as amendment at the time that it was being established and ended. Sorry. 7 and 10. 7 most influential climates in this solar system we're in, and 10 overall. Because you need 3, which is the Trinity, from 3 to make the 7. So, that's another. That's right. So here we go. That's what the amendments are. What is these scheming, treacherous, blood-sucking, which is what a colonist is, by the way. It leeches off of other people's land. That's what a colonist does. Wake up. It means it's not their motherland, period. And that's why in the 13th Amendment also it says that Africans, we talked about this last night because my brother and I shared this the other day and it kind of brought to my mind. The Africans can immigrate to descendants of Africans, talking about us, can immigrate to Africa, as you know today, and establish what? Colonies. That means that they wasn't from there. They were from right here. But they were trying to get you to expatriate off the land. Anything to get you off the land, because here they come, because they need a place to be, and we heard that this was the best place, and that's why as soon as we got here to the shores, we started panning, and we started migrating to the west, so we could pan for some gold. Get it from the land, because we heard gold was important. So we're going to come, and we're going to do gold panning. You know, you heard about that western gold, the gold rock. Tell them to get their gold off the land. Fuck squatters and thieves. And I'll talk to you about what? What? Stealers of the resources. Stealers of the resources. Political power means to have control over the resources, both human and political and earth. In a sense, got energy. Human when I say. Okay. Do you have your hands up?
For all those who have not signed in and received their attendance record, please step forward slowly.
Excuse me, that's not to be announced right now. Thank you. That's all right. I'm going to do that right now. Hold on a second. New York 1777 Constitution, 38. And whereas we are required by the benevolent principles of rational liberty, not only to expel civil tyranny, but also to guard against that spiritual oppression and intolerance wherewith the bigotry and ambition of weak and wicked priests and princesses has forced mankind. This convention does further, in the name and by the authority of the good people of this state, ordain, determine, and declare that the free exercise and enjoyment of religious profession and worship without discrimination or preference shall forever hereafter be allowed within this state to all of mankind, provided that the liberty of conscience hereby granted shall not be so construed as to excuse the act of licentiousness or justify practices inconsistent with the peace or safety of this state. Remember, they all states occupying a land, and they were being molested too, Now, a peace or safety of this state. And remember, Europeans are occupying land, which is what a state is, on the American land. Occupying, a territory on the land. That's all it is. That's it. That's all. So check it out. 39. And whereas the ministers of this is 1777. You see it. Whereas the ministers of the gospel are, by their profession, dedicated to the service of God and the care of souls, and ought not be diverted from the great duties of their function. Therefore, no minister of the gospel or priest of any denomination whatsoever shall, at any time hereafter, under any presence or description whatever, be eligible to or capable of holding any civil or military office or place within this state. Yeah. So they was in trouble. They was like, help us. 1777, we're like, okay, all right, we're going to have to formalize the formal constitution and all that land. And that's what we do. And so 1787, it was established. 1791, it was complete. And it is supreme law of the land. And without the treaty, which is between Moors and Christians, for those who act like they don't know who Moors are, not only do these people who call themselves reporters and things like that not know not know who Moors are. They also don't know damn history. They shouldn't even be journalists, nor should they be reporters. Let's get it straight. Because they can find out the same thing that you found out, that we found out, that's going on. And some of them aren't surprised about that themselves because they was in the classroom next to you, too. They didn't know. You know, when you try, they're trying to get out of the joke, too. The problem is they created, for instance, sovereign citizen movement, and every Moor that can hear my voice needs to stay the hell away from even let them even remotely think that you're part of a sovereign citizen movement because you don't need to be a part of a sovereign citizen movement because sovereignty only comes with nationality. Europeans had to do sovereign citizen movement to find out that they ain't the damn sovereign. And they're a little upset about that. Europeans have found out that they're indigenous, but they ain't aboriginal. To be upset about that. So they threw out a bunch of stuff that's on the website that you and I and most of the Moors don't even know enough about their own position, grabbing onto and trying to use, and it's not for you to use. And birth certificate redemption is one. Excuse me, brother. Last week you were here, you leaving, and you had an announcement to make about it, and you had someone that was that passing the family. You want to just because we got to get ready to close. Who's the other microphone? Oh, there it is. Behind you over there. Traveling distance. Was he transitioning while you was taking down these, while you was talking to him in the hospital? He was between dimensions? Or did he slowly pass or just... So that means that he was transitioning and he was in between dimensions, which they want to call dimension for older people, but it's dimensions. And the things that they say in that state is very, very, very real and to be looked at.
Well, that's what they took a note. I actually got it right here.
What did he say?
Well, he was going through George Washington letter.
I did read the George Washington letter. It probably was surprising to him that that was what it was.
Well, he was way he was like, look, man, he's right, really stuff. You know, it's George Washington, that's hot. So,
yeah.
So yeah, that was unfortunate place for them, though. But it's a shame that every time a transition goes down, it's like the family around.
Oh, well, we should talk about that, yeah. I hear you. I know exactly what you feel about that one, bro. Myself and Annie, you get lost people in the family, so we know. Thank you, bro. Peace. Peace. So I did my 3 points about how the modern Europeans got here, slaves, freedom, independence, the Declaration of Independence. Okay, yeah, no problem. And then on the John Adams letter, I don't want to miss the point that I was wanting to make with that, is that if you read it clearly in it, actually starts out and says, I'm not of you to ask for a treaty of commerce when we haven't even gotten a treaty of peace. It's like, because it was still war. The British were fighting because they didn't want nobody to free the slaves. You had three people, those who wanted the slaves to remain clean slaves, the modern, the Slavics, the Europeans, that you call white people, that you think put you in slavery. They did. Human trafficking is slavery, is genocide today, but it's bureaucratized so you don't see it or recognize it. So there's ones who wanted to end slavery, ones who didn't want to end slavery, and the third one was the one that said kill them all. The Equal Federation walked out and sent a deal like, just kill them all, because one minute they're sitting here like everything was cool, next minute they're trying to eat the babies and the cattle because of the cantankerousness and the instability of the development. That's why zoos were even created, because of the zoos. Yeah, we left animals to be where they are. But real animals, indigenous animals. But those who are not have to be civilized. So you have you have civics for civilization, you know what I mean? You start with that. But the zoos, as I said, was because we were doing experiments. Some of all kinds of stuff. Some they say the menagerie, and they say that shit's real. It's very real. All right? So I just wanted to say that, with that little, that is the truth. I don't care what somebody can come to you, maybe they can fill in something, but it's not going to change because that's the way it went down. And that is why no matter where you go, you will find that the Aboriginal and Indigenous people are the melanated people and not otherwise. Period. It proves itself. The prophet Noah Jolie said, if I could just get you to thinking, you would free yourself. So this is the information that we have to have. Did you have your hand up again? One day you're going to have your hand up. Listen, we got to close, but because I know we have been giving out awards, I only see one person here that I need to give one to, and that's here this week. And as I see the people who are here, we will. So we'll do the ones that we want to do. I'm looking for. Next week we're going to do the ones we want to do for us. We're trying to take care of everyone else. Not about us, not you. Is Dr. Nick Diamond Gilmer right here today? Okay. Let me do this. Right here. Al Shakim. Shakim. Al Shakim here? Shakim? Yeah. Got it. All right. And remember we were giving out 100 to the first 100 people that come here in celebration of the fact that we've been here for 9 years completed. The first 100 people, we just put out 100 things last week and this week. Sister Sharice there has a record that you've attended here that you can take. So last week we couldn't give them out because y'all probably didn't. Nobody can understand what you said, Y'all need to print for real. For real. So she's tried to decipher them, and as you came in this week, I think you had the list, right? You did have the list? So if you haven't gotten it from her at the door, get it when you leave. And for those who are here, if she doesn't have it for you, it's because, again, you didn't print, but I think she made sure you did this time, so we would not have that problem. So now we have, were you here last week? Okay, good, because we had something for you really quickly, so we can close that. In honor of our 9-year completion, wow, you've always been in. You've been here from the beginning, man. Listen, Brother Lawrence Bey, I've given him something that says that Brother Lawrence Bey has assisted and supported. I got to put my glasses on. These aren't even my glasses. Has assisted and supported the Moor Heritage and History School held at New York, the Empire State. And Brother Lawrence, this acknowledgement comes at the completion of the school's 9th year in association and conjunction with over 745,000 visitors at RVBey Publications website and over 120,000 listeners of MHA's Eyes Rock over Blog Talk radio programs. We got 4 programs so far. We look forward to your continued support, and we thank you for your assistance in uplifting fallen humanity. However, the universe thanks you more. This is for you. What's the note? Come on up and get this. Come on. I got it. All right. When you do the prayer, you go. Yes. Now, Brother Lawrence, his profession, occupation is by most mechanic work. I know it's like car mechanic because of the 9 years we were coming in. A couple times I do recall, where are you? And he had to come and get us, and then a couple times he just did repairs, I'm gonna come up here to New York, whatever like that. Because you gotta have that, because you gotta have a trusting person to work on that. Gave you a call to down now. Yes, his wife, Patricia. Wow, isn't that beautiful? You gave the brother out of the car to conveyance to navigate it when they were down and out. See, that kind of stuff. And then also he does the prayer out often, between him and usually Brother Ali. And he's going to do it out tonight. So with that, I just have one more that I want to mention, and that's it. I'm out of here. We're out of here on this one. This is really special, though, because remember I told you we got a lot of people that come across the floor teaching like that and share information. So we have another one, and that is in 9 years now since this record affirms. Oh shoot, I'm reading the same one. I apologize. This record affirms that y'all gotta give it up for the brother. Red girl with no ledge has instructed and assisted the Moor Catholic and History School held in New York, Empire State. This acknowledgement comes at the completion of the school's 9th year in association and conjunction with over 745,000 visitors at RVBey publications and over 120,000 listeners of Amexem Guys Wide Open Blog Talk video program. We look forward to your continued support, and we thank you for your assistance and uplift and follow humanity. However, the universe does thank you more. This is for you in a little notebook. It's a special note with the drums, but these to say that's special. How you doing? You all right? Everything going? All right, that's for you. That's a 9-year completion. You're going to never get another one like that. So with that, we'll finish next week. We'll just take our time through this, but I think we're in October already, right? Oh, wow. Well, we'll see you next week and see how we do with the rest of what we have to do. Because I want to do. I mean, after 9 years, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, we just didn't want to make it like one ceremony with everything, but we got some more to share. Everybody all right? Will we see you next week? Did you enjoy? Yes. You have, Moorish man? Oh, get to Ancient and Modern Britons by, what's the name? David McRitchie. In Volume 1 and Volume 2. Did you enjoy our sharing of information with Daddy and myself tonight? All right. Now we will close out, and Brother Morris will receive his certificate, his record, and do the prayer out. Thank you, Brother Lord. This is for you. It's very special. You want to put it there until you're done. It's a love to you. And I really, really do thank you for all of your support. I really do. Thank you. All right. I didn't know you were talking brothers out like that. Just no cars and stuff. Uh-huh. It's huh? It's education. Oh, hold on. I apologize, brother. You can leave the mic. They can hit you with this.
Father of universe. Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace.
Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector. My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Through Ali. Also known as Sheikh. Sharif. Ali.
Islam. Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. That's all right. All right. This is education of a Negro. Everybody knows. Those who need to know.
Our problem is lack of knowledge and the intended deceit and trickery done Because even those who read the bibliotext that you call the Bible says he shall fool even the most elite. So even those who think they're highly educated and this and that, they've been fooled. That's it. It's not really complicated.
It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. The gods are back, the Moors are strapped. We waking up. And we want our land back, running off, that's a trap. You know them guys don't like that. Waking up from a nap, like where the hell my crown at? Take a step back, like I know this bitch ain't bite back. It's kinda crazy how this karma it strikes back. We enslaved Islam, so they slaved us right back. We called them niggas, then they nigga this right back. We brought them to light, but they ain't bring that right back. If I was lazy, dirty dancing with the baby, then just maybe won't revolt like Haiti. I too short, love a poor Marcus Garvey, your ass. No, but you are leading. God body the man. Now I ain't gotta be bad, and you ain't gotta be mad, but the planet is heating up, so the first I'll be last. I got that melanin that's better than anything you ever medicine. We at your front door, wonder why you never let us in. Oh, I get it, you never wanted to put some credits in. Well, just forget it, cause I don't know if you can edit sin. We've been enlightened long before Thomas Edison. Skeletons to prove that you wasn't even relevant. In the Caucasus Mountains, cause the sun was your deficit. Captain Caveman with the plan of the Jesuits. Check my bloodline, but in time I bring the evidence. Self-governing body, so I don't need no president. Democrat, Republican, donkey versus elephant. I studied in law, so I ain't down with none of that. I self-law and master, so I'm running that. This Molotov cocker burns faster, so I like the match. Despite the fact that ain't even what I'm mad at. I spit the truth, so here's the roof, so you can that. My skin is brown and here's the proof, but you ain't hearing that. Dead in the eyes of the law, that's why they call you black. Naming all caps when you fall, that's why I strike back. And strike that from the record ab initio. You gon' need more than some pressure, I got a vicious flow. I can take the road to the high, or I can hit them low. Try to calcify my third eye, oh you gon' have to go. Chemtrails all over the sky, and you don't wanna know. Doggone inside of my tribe, they coming no more.
If you believe that your history started on a slave boat, I can guarantee you that's where it ended too. That's what I'm saying. Then after saying that, and don't believe me, go back and do some studies past the 1700s, and I'll guarantee you, sure as you're sitting there listening, or wherever you are, watching, listening, you will find nothing but the word Moor, and that's another thing, because we weren't called black. But description, maybe, black or Moor or whatever, but that's it. Know the difference between a description and an actual, person, place, or thing, noun. I mean, really.
It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. From the pyramids to the project, the beginning is the part they want you to forget. Implant your memory with that noose around your neck. It's the King Alpha plan and it's set in full effect. The butler, the help, and 12 years a slave. Django and Selma, they get them accolades. They made a movie called Exodus about the gods and kings with an all-white cast from Egypt. Now that's a shame. They ain't never seen no movie about no European slaves. We were traveling the seas when they was living in caves. We had to civilize and show them how to behave. In fact, we brought them light and taught them how to bathe. This is trading places with stolen identity. We agreed to be educated by our own enemy. Reverse psychology, I'ma need a lobotomy. An exorcism just to get this shit about me. Roz Mariah, Anna Eve, Miss Raheem, Todd Tariq, Cujo from Cannonland. Listen to them speak. I done learned from the best. I don't need no DNA test. The nations in my womb has given from the breast. The empire's back, so you know what's next. The Moors are waking up, now you must confess. Yes, yes. The Moors are waking up, now you must confess.
Birthright theft. The whole deal was, where's my land that, for them, the whole deal was like, this is really quote-unquote promised land. This is really the quote-unquote heart of civilization. This is really what you might call Northwest Africa. And I say that to people so they can stop saying I'm going back to Africa and understand that they're in it. It's the Garden of Eden.
That's what they had in Columbus's journal that they arrived
Absolutely.
in Eden.
So what has happened is absolute lies. That's right. And the land of milk and honey is another terminology. So these things are important because as you're doing studies, and if it says the land of milk and honey, you need to know they're talking about the North American continent. If you don't know that, then you miss it. And that's part of our problem. That part of our problem is the miseducation. We have been lied to, lied to, lied to, lied to, lied to, lied to.
O'Reilly. Stop by any of the 96 Atlanta area O'Reilly Auto Parts stores where you'll find everyday low prices on the parts you need to keep your vehicle running at its best. Our guaranteed low prices ensure you're always getting our best deal. In fact, we'll match any auto parts store's price on any like item. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly.